Everything begins with energy. Before any action is taken, before any choice is made, before any result shows up in life, there is an unseen force shaping it all. Most people never realize it, but every single moment they are sending out a frequency through their thoughts, emotions, and intentions. That frequency becomes the architect of their experiences. It determines what they attract, what they repel, and what they become capable of achieving. The truth is simple. Life doesn't respond to what people say they want. It responds to the energy behind what they truly believe, feel, and expect. When someone understands this, everything changes because they stop fighting the world on the surface and start working at the level where reality is created. Energy is not mystical or distant. It's present in every emotion, every thought pattern, every reaction, and every decision. When a person thinks in terms of possibility, their energy expands. When they think in terms of fear or limitation, their energy contracts. This expansion or contraction quietly influences everything around them. It affects their confidence, their choices, their ability to take risks, and even the opportunities that show up in their path. People who carry chaotic, scattered energy often live chaotic, scattered lives. Those who carry calm, focused energy walk into rooms differently. They act differently. They attract differently. Because the world is always responding to the energy they carry. The first step toward controlling energy is becoming aware of it. Most people live on autopilot, repeating the same thoughts, reacting with the same emotions, and wondering why nothing changes. They don't realize that their inner energy field is stuck in patterns that keep producing the same type of outcomes. They feel tired, overwhelmed, or frustrated, not because the world is against them, but because their internal energy is consumed by conflict, doubt, and resistance. Awareness breaks this cycle. Awareness allows a person to step back and see the truth behind their own thoughts. Instead of being pulled by fear or stress, they begin to observe it. They start to notice how certain thoughts drain them while others strengthen them. They start to feel which emotions lift them higher and which ones pull them down. This awareness becomes the foundation of energetic control. You begin to understand that every moment is a choice. The energy you project in that moment becomes the blueprint of what happens next. If you hold frustration, you attract friction. If you hold clarity, you attract alignment. If you hold gratitude, you attract growth. People often believe that circumstances shape their energy, but in reality, it is their energy that shapes their circumstances. And when you recognize this, you no longer wait for life to change. You change the energy you bring to life, and everything begins to shift with it. This realization gives a person a new kind of power, quiet, internal, and unshakable. It teaches them that control doesn't come from forcing life into their preferred shape. It comes from mastering the energy that creates that shape. The world outside becomes easier to navigate because the world inside becomes stronger, clearer, more directed. When someone begins to operate from this level, they stop reacting and start creating. They stop surviving and start leading their life with intention. They stop giving away energy to people, situations, and thoughts that don't deserve it. Instead, they channel their energy into growth, into purpose, into visions that align with who they are becoming. Everything is energy. Everything responds to energy. Everything is shaped by energy. And the one who learns to control their own energy learns to control the direction of their life. This is the beginning of mastery, the beginning of true power. Your personal frequency is the silent force shaping everything you experience. It's not the words you speak, not the image you show, not the goals you write down, but the energy you carry deep within you that communicates with the world long before you ever open your mouth. This frequency is built from your thoughts, emotions, beliefs, and inner expectations. It is the vibration you live in every single day. And whether you realize it or not, it's influencing the outcomes you attract. People often wonder why life seems easier for some and harder for others. The truth is that two people can take the same action, make the same effort, and even have the same opportunities, yet the results will be completely different because the energy behind their actions is not the same. This frequency determines whether your path feels blocked or open, heavy or light, limited or expanding. When someone carries a frequency of fear, doubt, or insecurity, their world slowly begins to reflect those states back to them. They hesitate more. They second-guess more. They attract situations that confirm the beliefs they carry. It's not punishment, it's resonance. The energy within them resonates with things that match it. But when someone carries a frequency of confidence, purpose, and clarity, their world reflects that too. They attract opportunities that align with their direction. They meet people who support their growth. They experience momentum because their energy broadcasts strength instead of conflict. This is why inner work is so powerful, because when your energy changes, your entire external reality begins to shift without force or struggle. Your frequency is shaped by what you think repeatedly, what you feel consistently, and what you allow yourself to believe long term. If the inner dialogue is heavy, the frequency becomes heavy. If the inner dialogue is weak, the frequency becomes weak. But when you begin to take control of your inner world, your frequency rises without you having to chase anything. You stop depending on validation. You stop waiting for external permission. You stop giving your power away to circumstances. Instead, you move with a sense of inner certainty that naturally draws better experiences toward you. The world responds not to desperation but to conviction, not to fear but to intention, not to uncertainty but to a steady inner core that says, I know where I'm going. Raising your personal frequency is not about pretending to be positive or ignoring reality. It's about understanding that your energy is a signal, and that signal determines the quality of your life. When your frequency is low, everything feels like effort. When your frequency is high, everything feels more aligned. You think clearer. You choose better. You trust yourself more. You stop being pulled by old emotional patterns and start moving from a place of power. The shift is internal, but the results are external. You become someone who attracts progress instead of chasing it. You become someone who draws respect without demanding it. You become someone who walks into life with the energy of a creator, not a survivor. The moment you understand that your frequency is your true power, you take responsibility for it. You stop looking at circumstances as the authority over your life. Instead, you look inward and begin shaping the energy that shapes everything else. You learn to choose thoughts that lift you, emotions that strengthen you, beliefs that empower you, and intentions that align with your highest direction. The frequency you hold becomes the destiny you experience. The world cannot ignore a person whose energy is elevated, focused, and unwavering. When your frequency rises, your life rises with it. This is how destiny is shaped. Quietly, internally, energetically, energy follows focus. Wherever your attention goes, your power flows with it. Most people don't realize that their focus is the steering wheel of their entire life. They think focus is simply about concentrating on tasks, but it goes much deeper. Focus is the filter through which you interpret reality. It is the lens that determines what you notice, what you ignore, and what you amplify. When your mind is scattered, your energy becomes scattered. When your thoughts jump from fear to distraction to doubt, your energy weakens. But when your focus becomes clear, steady, and intentional, your energy gathers strength. It becomes concentrated instead of diluted. And in that concentration, you gain power that most people never tap into. A focused mind creates a focused life. A scattered mind creates a scattered existence. The truth is that energy cannot serve you until you direct it. Most people live as if their attention belongs to the world, pulled by notifications, consumed by noise, hijacked by worry, divided by useless drama. Their energy leaks in 1,000 directions, and then they wonder why they feel drained or frustrated. They are not tired because life is difficult. They are tired because their energy is wasted on thoughts and distractions that give nothing back. When focus is lost, momentum is lost. When attention is broken, power is broken. But when you reclaim your focus, you reclaim your energy. You stop reacting and you start choosing. You stop drifting and you start leading. You stop being managed by life and you begin managing your direction. The power of intention begins with focus. Intention is not a wish. It is not a vague hope. It is the clear, deliberate decision to direct your energy toward a specific outcome. When intention is strong, energy becomes obedient. When intention is weak, energy becomes chaotic. Think of intention as the command your mind gives to your inner power. If the command is unclear, nothing moves. If the command is divided, nothing strengthens. But when the command is focused, when you decide exactly what you want, why you want it, and what it requires, your energy reorganizes itself around that decision. Your thoughts sharpen. Your emotions stabilize. Once you understand this, you stop wasting your power on the temporary and begin investing it into the transformational. You move with clarity. You move with purpose. You move with strength. And life begins to respond accordingly. Belief is one of the most powerful forms of energy a person carries. It operates quietly behind the surface, shaping thoughts, emotions, choices, and outcomes long before action ever takes place. Your self-image, what you truly believe about yourself at the deepest level, creates a frequency that influences every part of your life. If someone believes they are limited, their energy contracts. If they believe they are capable, their energy expands. And life reflects these beliefs back with remarkable accuracy. You don't attract what you want, you attract what your internal energy matches. Most people spend their lives trying to change their circumstances instead of changing the beliefs that generate those circumstances. But the moment you shift the energy of your self-image, you shift the entire trajectory of your life. The subconscious mind doesn't respond to your goals. It responds to the identity you repeat to yourself. If your inner dialogue constantly says you are not enough, not ready, not worthy, your energy will mirror that narrative. It will weaken your decisions, lower your standards, and make you hesitate at every step. You won't take bold action because the energy of doubt holds you back. You won't claim opportunities because your internal frequency tells you they are not meant for you. People often think they are stuck because of their environment, but they are stuck because their self-image has not yet evolved. Only when belief expands does life expand. Only when a person raises their inner identity does their outer world rise to meet it. Empowered beliefs generate empowered energy. When someone begins to see themselves as capable, their energy sharpens. When they believe they can grow, their energy becomes resilient. When they trust their potential, their energy becomes magnetic. This isn't mere positivity. It is energetic alignment. Everything you do becomes infused with a different vibration when you believe in your own value. You walk differently. You speak differently. You make decisions with more certainty. You set boundaries more confidently. And because your energy is stronger, people respond to you differently. Opportunities that once ignored you start gravitating toward you because your energy now matches them. You don't force anything. You attract through your belief. But reshaping your beliefs requires intentional work. You can't elevate your energy while repeating the same internal stories that weaken you. You can't build a powerful life with a fragile identity. The first step is recognizing the beliefs that drain your energy. These are the thoughts that make you shrink, the memories you replay that lower your worth, the labels you accepted without questioning them. Once you see them, you can challenge them, you can replace them. You can consciously choose beliefs that align with the person you want to become. This is how you retrain your internal frequency. Every new belief becomes a new vibration. Every new vibration becomes a new level of energy. And over time, this new energy becomes your new identity. As your self-image grows stronger, your entire life begins to reorganize itself. You stop seeking validation because you begin validating yourself. You stop waiting for permission because you realize you can create your own path. You stop fearing failure because you trust your ability to rise. Your belief becomes the engine that powers your transformation. It becomes the foundation of your confidence, the source of your courage, and the root of your actions. When belief aligns with purpose, your energy becomes unstoppable. You no longer live from limitation. You live from expansion. And once your self-image reflects your highest potential, your life will inevitably rise to match it. Emotions are the purest and strongest form of energy a human being can generate. They are not random reactions. They are signals, frequencies, and forces that shape the direction of a person's entire life. Every emotion you feel sends out a vibration that influences how you think, how you act, and what you attract. Anger, fear, doubt, guilt, and anxiety weaken your inner energy. They drain your clarity, lower your confidence, and make even simple decisions feel heavy. But emotions like courage, gratitude, determination, and self-respect raise your energy. They expand your possibilities. They give you the internal strength to move through challenges instead of collapsing under them. When you master your emotions, you master the energetic foundation of your life, because emotion isn't just a feeling. It's fuel, it's frequency, it's power. The truth is that most people do not control their emotional energy. They are controlled by it. They react to everything around them without realizing that these reactions shape their destiny. They let small frustrations ruin their day, let old wounds dictate their self-worth, let fear stop them from pursuing opportunities, and let the opinions of others influence their emotional state. In this condition, their energy becomes unstable, rising and falling based on external circumstances. But emotional mastery is the opposite. It is the ability to stay grounded even when the world is loud. It is the ability to choose a higher emotional state, even when the situation invites negativity. Emotional mastery is not suppressing your feelings. It is understanding them so deeply that you refuse to let them control the direction of your life. Every emotion you experience offers a choice. Either it drains you or it strengthens you. Fear tries to shrink your world until you stop moving. Doubt whispers that your potential is a lie. Anger clouds your vision and turns your energy into chaos. These emotions have their purpose, but they cannot be allowed to lead your life. Empowering emotions, on the other hand, elevate your energy instantly. Gratitude shifts your frequency toward abundance. Courage resets your mind toward possibility. Determination turns obstacles into fuel. Self-respect raises your vibration so high that you stop tolerating anything that weakens your spirit. When you intentionally choose emotions that elevate your energy, your inner world transforms, not through force, but through alignment. The key to controlling emotional energy is awareness. You must learn to pause and notice what you are feeling without letting the feeling drag you into old patterns. When you feel fear rising, you acknowledge it, but you do not become it. When frustration appears, you observe it instead of unleashing it. When sadness surfaces, you allow it without letting it consume your identity. This level of awareness shifts your emotional energy from reactive to intentional. It gives you the power to redirect your emotional state towards something more empowering. This is how people break cycles they have been stuck in for years, by recognizing that they are not their emotions, they are the consciousness that chooses how to respond to them. The moment you begin choosing your emotions, your life begins to change. You stop giving energy to things that drain you. You stop letting temporary feelings create permanent decisions. You stop being pulled into emotional storms that don't belong to you. Instead, you rise above them. You elevate your inner state until your energy becomes stable, steady, and strong. This is the engine of transformation. This is the force that makes you unstoppable. When your emotional energy is aligned with your purpose, your beliefs, and your focus, you become someone who cannot be easily shaken. Challenges become growth. Delays become preparation. Pressure becomes fuel. And life begins to respond to the emotional frequency you choose to live in, not the one you used to settle for. Inner energy strengthens or weakens based on the environment you allow yourself to stay in. But environment isn't just the physical space around you. It's the atmosphere created by the thoughts you consume, the habits you practice, the people you interact with, and the standards you accept. Everything around you either feeds your energy or drains it. Many people unknowingly weaken themselves by staying in environments that contradict their goals, their values, and their growth. They tolerate noise that drowns their clarity. They entertain people who disrupt their inner balance. They repeat habits that lower their ambition. They accept routines that keep their energy stuck at the same level for years. And then they wonder why progress feels slow, why motivation disappears, or why life seems to repeat the same patterns. The truth is simple. Your environment is either shaping you upward or pulling you downward, and energy cannot rise in a space that contradicts your growth. When you place yourself in a low-energy environment, your mind becomes heavy, your thoughts become clouded, your emotions become reactive. You lose the sharpness that comes from being in an environment that supports your highest self. Energy does not thrive where there is chaos, conflict, or low standards. It thrives where there is intention. A powerful environment pushes you forward even on the days when you feel tired. A supportive environment reminds you of your direction when you feel lost. A high-energy environment makes discipline feel lighter because everything around you aligns with your goals instead of competing with them. Most people underestimate how deeply their surroundings influence their identity. Who you spend time with becomes who you become. What you repeatedly see becomes what you believe is normal. What you allow becomes what you attract. This is why creating an environment that protects and enhances your energy is not optional. It is essential. You must learn to guard your space the same way you guard your dreams. You must learn to be selective with where your time goes, who has access to your mind, and what has the right to influence your emotional state. People will not understand this. They will call it harsh or distant. But protecting your energy is not about rejecting others. It is about choosing yourself. It is about removing the noise that blocks your clarity. It is about refusing to stay in spaces that shrink your vision. It is about deciding that your life, your peace, and your purpose deserve an environment capable of holding them. A powerful environment also includes the habits you surround yourself with daily. Every habit you repeat sends a message to your subconscious mind about who you are becoming. Habits that raise your energy, such as reflection, learning, discipline, self-respect, and intentional action. Build momentum in your life. Habits that drain your energy, like procrastination, comparison, distractions, and self-neglect. Slow everything down. Energy expands when your routines are aligned with your goals. Energy fades when your routines contradict your values. You cannot create a high-energy life with low-energy habits. You cannot build a powerful identity in an environment that supports your old self more than your future self. Transformation requires alignment. Alignment requires an environment that reflects your highest standards. Eventually, you realize that controlling your environment is the same as controlling your energy. When you elevate the space around you, you elevate the person within you. When you remove what drains you, you make room for what strengthens you. When you choose environments that reflect your vision, your energy adapts and rises. And once your energy rises, your entire life rises with it. You no longer match the frequency of your old environments, and because of that, you outgrow them. This outgrowing is not loss. It is evolution. It's the sign that your energy is becoming too powerful to remain in spaces that were built for a smaller version of you. Energy responds to clarity with incredible speed. When your vision for your life is vague, weak, or constantly shifting, your energy scatters. It doesn't know where to go or what to build. But when your vision becomes clear, deeply clear, emotionally clear, energetically clear, your energy begins to align with it. A clear vision acts as a magnet pulling your life in a specific direction. It gives your thoughts a purpose, your emotions a direction, your habits a structure, and your decisions a foundation. Most people never reach their true potential because their vision is not strong enough to command their energy. They wish for one thing today, doubt it tomorrow, and forget it next month. Their energy becomes confused because their direction is inconsistent. But when a person commits to a vision with conviction, clarity sharpens every part of their being. It unifies their energy into a force that becomes difficult to stop, difficult to distract, and impossible to break. Clarity of vision is not about knowing every step. It's about knowing the destination so clearly that the path reveals itself. When you hold a vision firmly, your energy begins to make decisions for you. You stop entertaining opportunities that don't align with where you're going. You stop wasting time on people who don't match the direction you've chosen. You stop feeding habits that contradict your purpose. Clarity becomes a filter that protects your energy from being drained by distractions. It becomes a lighthouse when life feels dark. It becomes the internal compass that guides you even when uncertainty tries to pull you off course. Most people underestimate how powerful clarity can be because they focus on what they don't know. But the truth is, once your destination becomes non-negotiable, your energy begins building the path automatically. A clear vision also activates emotional energy, which is essential for long-term creation. A vision must not only make sense to your mind, it must speak to your soul. It must move you. It must pull you. It must create a feeling inside you that is stronger than fear, stronger than doubt, and stronger than temporary discomfort. When a vision is emotionally powerful, it becomes part of your identity. You no longer work toward it. You grow into it. Your energy rises every time you think about it. It gives you strength on days when motivation is low. It gives you direction when confusion tries to return. Without emotional energy, a vision is just an idea. With emotional energy, a vision becomes a destiny waiting for you to step into it. The biggest mistake people make is thinking they need to know every detail before they commit. But energy does not respond to perfection. It responds to decision. The moment you decide who you want to become and what you want your life to represent, your energy begins to shift. You start thinking differently, speaking differently, and acting differently. The decision creates the momentum. And with every small step forward, clarity expands and guides the next step. Vision is not static. It grows as you grow. It becomes sharper as your energy strengthens. It becomes bolder as your confidence rises. The stronger your energy becomes, the more clearly you see who you are meant to be. Eventually, you realize that clarity is not something you wait for, it's something you create. You shape it through reflection, honesty, and courage. You refine it through discipline and consistency. And once clarity becomes your foundation, your energy becomes unstoppable. You begin walking in alignment rather than confusion, in purpose rather than hesitation. Every choice becomes intentional. Every step becomes meaningful. Every action becomes part of a larger design you are consciously creating. A clear vision doesn't just guide your life, it transforms your energy into a force capable of building that life. And once you reach this level, nothing external can dim your direction, because your clarity becomes stronger than anything that tries to pull you away from your path. Thoughts are not harmless. Every thought you repeat generates a specific vibration inside you, and that vibration influences your energy more than most people will ever understand. A thought you repeat becomes a feeling you repeat becomes a belief you repeat becomes a pattern you repeat becomes your life. This is why a person with powerful thoughts walks with a different energy than someone who is filled with doubt or negativity. Their internal frequency is not accidental. It is built when you learn to control your thoughts. You learn to control the energy you broadcast into the world. You stop feeding the thoughts that weaken you and begin feeding the thoughts that strengthen you. Your inner dialogue becomes the architect of your transformation. If you want to elevate your energy, you must first elevate the thoughts that live inside your mind. Most people allow their minds to run without direction, repeating the same mental loops day after day, worrying about the future, replaying old mistakes, imagining the worst outcomes, or criticizing themselves for things they cannot control. These thoughts drain energy faster than anything else. They weaken your identity, destroy your focus, and create emotional chaos. They make you feel tired even when you've done nothing physical. But the truth is, you are not tired. You are mentally exhausted because you are carrying thoughts that were never meant to guide your life. When you let negative thoughts roam freely, they grow stronger. They begin shaping your decisions. They begin influencing your confidence. They begin creating limitations that don't even exist. The mind becomes a battlefield because the thoughts inside it are untrained, undirected, and unfiltered. Thought control does not mean pretending everything is perfect. It means choosing thoughts that align with your growth instead of your fears. It means catching yourself when the mind drifts into doubt and pulling it back with intention. It means refusing to entertain thoughts that insult your potential. Every time you redirect your thinking, you train your mind. Every time you replace a negative thought with a powerful one, you raise your energy. Over time, this becomes a habit. Then it becomes a pattern. Then it becomes your natural state. Thought discipline is one of the most important skills a person can develop because it allows you to decide what kind of energy you live with. You are no longer a victim of random thinking. You become the leader of your inner world. A powerful technique for controlling mental energy is awareness. You must become aware of what your mind is doing before you can shape what it creates. Notice the thoughts that appear when you are stressed. Notice what your mind repeats when you feel defeated. Notice the stories you tell yourself about who you are and what you're capable of. Awareness gives you the ability to interrupt these patterns. Instead of letting a negative thought turn into a negative emotion, you stop it midway. Instead of letting it shape your belief, you replace it with a thought that supports your purpose. This process might feel difficult at first because the mind is used to old patterns. But the more you practice redirecting your thoughts, the more powerful your energy becomes. Eventually, it becomes natural to think in ways that support your growth rather than sabotage it. The moment you take control of your thoughts, you take control of your energy. Your mind becomes clearer. Your emotions become steadier. Your decisions become more aligned. You stop reacting impulsively and start responding intentionally. You gain a level of inner strength that most people never develop because they never challenge their thoughts. They simply follow them. But when you choose your thoughts consciously, you rewrite your internal frequency. You begin operating from a place of calm power rather than chaotic emotion. You become someone who can face challenges without collapsing, someone who can hold vision without losing faith, someone who can stay grounded even when life becomes uncertain. This is mental mastery. This is energetic authority. This is the foundation for the next level of your evolution. There comes a moment when you finally understand that energy doesn't respond to wishes, hopes, or random bursts of motivation. It responds only to direction. It follows the clearest signal in your mind, not the loudest emotion and not the strongest fear. And this is where most people lose control of their inner power. They think they can change their lives by changing their circumstances, when the real shift happens only when they change the quality of their internal energy. If your inner world is filled with confusion, hesitation, and scattered intentions, your outer world will always reflect the same disorganized pattern. You cannot create a life of clarity while thinking thoughts of chaos. You cannot attract opportunity while vibrating in doubt. And you cannot expect growth while feeding your mind with signals of limitation. Your energy follows what you repeatedly tell yourself, whether you are conscious of it or not. The reason so many people feel stuck is not because their potential is small, but because their energy is being drained by unexamined thoughts, emotional habits, and invisible self-beliefs that they have allowed to run automatically. They are pulling themselves in different directions without realizing it. One moment they want to rise, and the next moment they sabotage their own effort because the unconscious patterns inside them hold a different identity. Energy cannot flow freely when your mind is in conflict with itself. You cannot move forward if one part of you believes in your future while another part still clings to your past. And this is the silent battle most people never resolve. They try to force change without aligning the energy behind it. They set goals without strengthening the inner current that must power those goals. They repeat words of positivity while holding energy of fear, and then wonder why nothing shifts. To control your energy, you must first reclaim it from the things that have been stealing it. Every thought of comparison is a theft. Every moment spent dwelling on mistakes is another leak. Every time you replay a memory that hurts you, you are handing your energy to something that no longer deserves it. And every time you let doubt sit in your mind without challenging it, you are allowing it to shape your vibration. Control begins with awareness. And awareness begins with observing how you feel when certain thoughts enter your mind. Energy always speaks through emotion. Your feelings are not random. They are signals telling you whether your thoughts are aligned with your true path or guiding you away from it. When your energy contracts, you are thinking something that limits you. When your energy expands, you are thinking something that strengthens you. The key is to choose the thoughts that expand you, regardless of how your external situation looks in the moment. True mastery is not about pretending everything is perfect. It is about knowing that your energy has more power than your circumstances. It is about believing that your internal frequency can rewrite your external reality. It is about refusing to give your power to anything that tries to shrink your spirit. When you learn to control your energy, you become immune to noise, immune to negativity, and immune to the distractions that once controlled you. You begin to stand in a state of quiet certainty, a state where your mind no longer reacts to everything around you, but responds only to the direction you choose. And the more consistently you hold this direction, the stronger your energy becomes. Eventually, the world stops pulling you, and you start pulling the world. You start drawing in opportunities, solutions, and breakthroughs that once felt out of reach. Because now your energy is clear. Now your signal is strong. Now your power is finally yours. Purpose is the fuel that transforms ordinary energy into unstoppable power. Without purpose, energy is scattered, weak, and reactive. It drifts aimlessly, responding to external forces rather than creating results. Most people spend their lives moving from task to task, reacting to demands, distractions, and emergencies, never realizing that their energy is being wasted because it lacks direction. Purpose acts like a magnet that pulls energy toward meaningful action. It gives your thoughts, emotions, and habits a reason to align. It is not something that comes from external validation or circumstance. It is a deep internal recognition of why you exist, what you are capable of, and what your energy is meant to build. When purpose is discovered and embraced, energy multiplies and life stops being a random sequence of events and starts becoming a deliberate creation. Living without purpose is exhausting because every effort you make fights against the very energy that could support you. You may work long hours, chase goals, or pursue ambitions, but if your inner energy is disconnected from purpose, every action feels heavier than it should. You feel drained, unmotivated, and frustrated, and yet you cannot pinpoint why. Purpose provides the alignment your energy needs. When your actions are in harmony with your purpose, momentum grows naturally. Effort feels lighter because your energy flows in the direction it was designed to move. You stop forcing outcomes, stop struggling against life, and begin operating in a state of energetic efficiency where every thought, choice, and action is amplified. This is why those who understand purpose seem to achieve results effortlessly. Their energy is no longer scattered. It is concentrated, directed, and unstoppable. Purpose also transforms emotional energy. When you are connected to your purpose, even difficult circumstances become fuel. Challenges become opportunities. Obstacles become tests of strength rather than barriers. The frustration, fear, and doubt that once drained energy are redirected into determination, courage, and persistence. Emotional energy becomes aligned with intention, creating a feedback loop where feeling powerful strengthens focus, and focus strengthens action. This alignment between emotion, thought, and purpose produces a state of inner momentum that external events cannot easily disrupt. People who operate in this state become resilient because their energy comes from an internal source rather than relying on temporary motivation from external circumstances. Their energy is self-sustaining and their results reflect it. Discovering purpose requires introspection, courage, and honesty. It is not found in imitation, distraction, or approval from others. It is revealed by identifying what you feel compelled to do, what drives your curiosity, what challenges you are willing to face repeatedly, and what gives your life a sense of meaning beyond comfort or convenience. Purpose is the energetic blueprint for your life. It tells your energy where to go and what to build. Without it, you wander. With it, your energy becomes a weapon, a force capable of shaping your reality. Once purpose is clearly understood, every choice, habit, and thought can be aligned to serve it, and energy is no longer wasted on triviality or distraction. Ultimately, purpose creates energy that is endless because it is rooted in identity rather than circumstance. When you live in alignment with purpose, your energy is no longer dependent on external conditions. You wake up with direction. You move with intention. You create results with momentum. Every decision strengthens the signal your energy sends to the world. You stop feeling tired from meaningless effort because the work you do resonates with your inner source of power. And as your energy multiplies, your life begins to expand. Purpose doesn't just give you direction. It gives you the ability to control your energy in a way that produces extraordinary results consistently. This is the secret of mastery. When purpose fuels energy, life begins to bend toward you, not the other way around. Discipline is the engine that transforms potential energy into tangible results. Without it, even the clearest purpose, strongest focus, or highest emotional energy can dissipate without leaving a mark. Habits are the silent carriers of energy. They repeat automatically and, over time, amplify or drain the frequency you project. Every repeated action, no matter how small, is a deposit of energy into your future self. Discipline shapes the body, strengthens the mind, and stabilizes emotions. It is the framework that allows your energy to become predictable, reliable, and aligned with your goals. Without consistent habits, energy scatters, intentions remain unfulfilled, and progress slows. But with disciplined repetition, energy gains momentum and multiplies in ways that effort alone cannot achieve. Every action taken consistently creates a ripple effect in your energy field. People often underestimate the power of small, disciplined steps because they focus only on the visible results. They do not see the internal reinforcement taking place with every choice. Each time you choose to act instead of procrastinate, each time you choose focus over distraction, each time you choose mastery over convenience, your energy rises. Habits, when intentionally designed, create a structure that conserves and amplifies energy. They free your mind from unnecessary decision-making, allowing you to direct your energy toward high-impact actions. Discipline does not constrain energy, it channels it, giving it direction and purpose, transforming ordinary effort into exponential growth. A lack of discipline is the primary reason people feel exhausted, stuck, or frustrated. Without structure, energy leaks through indecision, delay, and distraction. The mind becomes cluttered, emotional energy becomes unstable, and actions lose alignment. When habits are inconsistent, energy is wasted on resistance instead of creation. You may work hard, but hard work without disciplined alignment often produces limited results. In contrast, disciplined energy flows naturally, without friction, toward outcomes that reflect your highest intentions. Discipline is not about restriction. It is about creating a vehicle through which your energy can move efficiently, safely, and powerfully toward your goals. The relationship between energy and discipline is deeply intimate because habits dictate the baseline vibration of your life. High-energy habits, practices that support growth, learning, focus, and emotional stability, raise your frequency steadily. Low energy habits, procrastination, self-indulgence, complaining, or inconsistent effort, erode your internal power gradually but relentlessly. To master energy, one must audit habits regularly, identify what strengthens or weakens the flow, and design routines that align with the life they desire. Small daily actions, repeated consistently, have the power to transform your energy from chaotic and scattered into disciplined and magnetic. Energy follows structure. Energy rises through repetition. Energy obeys the signals you embed in your habits. Ultimately, disciplined energy becomes unstoppable because it frees you from the chaos of reaction and uncertainty. Once your habits support your focus, your purpose, and your emotional stability, your energy is no longer at the mercy of circumstances or temporary moods. You begin to operate from consistency rather than chance, from preparation rather than reaction. Your frequency becomes predictable, reliable, and powerful, capable of attracting opportunities and outcomes that match the strength of your internal energy. Discipline transforms potential into reality, chaos into order, and energy into mastery. It is the bridge that connects intention with results, ensuring that the power you carry inside you is consistently and effectively translated into the life you are destined to create. Distractions are the silent thieves of energy. In a world filled with noise, constant stimulation, and endless demands on attention, most people allow their power to be drained without realizing it. Every unnecessary worry, every opinion that doesn't serve you, every moment spent on trivial matters steals energy that could have been directed toward creation, growth, and mastery. Energy is finite, even though its potential is immense. Every time you allow it to scatter, you weaken your internal signal, slow your progress, and make yourself more vulnerable to frustration, fear, and indecision. Protecting your energy is not optional, it is essential. The more you guard it, the more capable you become of producing results that matter and sustaining the inner power required to achieve them. Many people fail to recognize the subtle ways in which energy is drained. Negative conversations, toxic relationships, mindless consumption of media, and constant comparison all fragment energy. Even seemingly small actions, repeated daily, can erode internal power over time. When energy is fragmented, focus diminishes, emotions destabilize, and thoughts scatter. The mind becomes reactive rather than creative. Instead of being the director of your life, you become the victim of the chaos around you. The world does not deliberately drain your energy. It simply offers an endless stream of stimuli that, if unchecked, will consume attention and dilute power. Awareness is the first step in taking it back. Only when you see what is draining your energy can you begin to shield it effectively. Guarding your energy is not about withdrawal or avoidance. It is about intentional alignment. Every interaction, every piece of information, every habit, and every relationship should be assessed based on the energy it provides or consumes. High energy choices amplify your internal power. They reinforce clarity, focus, and emotional stability. Low energy choices deplete it, leaving you reactive, fragmented, and disoriented. Protecting your energy requires discipline, boundaries, and sometimes difficult decisions. It requires saying no to things that do not serve your growth, even if they seem harmless or convenient. Saying yes without thought dilutes your frequency. Learning to consistently protect energy is the key to sustaining momentum and mastering your life. Energy is a resource. If you guard it, you control it. If you waste it, life controls you. Silence and stillness are powerful tools in this process. Moments of quiet allow energy to recharge, clarity to emerge, and intentions to solidify. Without intentional stillness, energy disperses into distraction, worry, and reaction. Most people underestimate the power of stillness because they confuse inactivity with uselessness. Yet, the mind needs space to organize, the emotions need space to reset, and the subconscious needs space to integrate new patterns of thought and belief. Regularly creating periods of focus and silence strengthens energy because it reinforces control. It reminds the body, mind, and spirit that energy is yours to direct, not theirs to steal. This is how individuals maintain high-frequency states consistently, even amidst chaos. Ultimately, protecting your energy becomes a practice of self-respect and mastery. Every decision, every boundary, every habit aligned with this principle strengthens your internal signal and amplifies your ability to influence life around you. The person who consistently protects energy moves through challenges with stability, responds rather than reacts, and radiates a frequency that attracts opportunities, resources, and growth. Energy becomes magnetic because it is concentrated, intentional, and unyielding. Life responds to those who respect their power, and once you begin actively guarding your energy, you step into a level of control, focus, and influence that most people never experience. Mastery begins with protection, and protection begins with awareness. Energy is amplified through persistence. Most people underestimate the cumulative force of consistent effort and steady vibration over time. They believe that energy is powerful only in bursts, that motivation is a fleeting resource, or that occasional inspiration is enough to produce lasting results. But true mastery of energy comes from persistence, showing up again and again, maintaining focus, reinforcing empowering beliefs, and staying aligned with purpose despite challenges, setbacks, or distractions. Every repeated action strengthens the internal frequency, creates momentum, and solidifies the patterns that make energy resilient. Persistence transforms scattered, intermittent energy into a powerful, unstoppable current that shapes circumstances. Instead of being shaped by them, persistence is more than endurance. It is intentional energy management applied over time. When a person persists, their energy signals to the world that they are committed, unwavering, and non-negotiable. Obstacles no longer weaken them. They become fuel for concentration and growth. Failures become feedback rather than defeat. The energy behind persistence is magnetic. It draws opportunities, solutions, and alignment toward the individual who refuses to give up. Most people quit before the force of their own energy can manifest results because they measure success too early or expect immediate outcomes. But energy responds to consistency, not impatience. The longer persistence continues, the stronger the energy becomes, and the more it shapes reality to match intention. The process of persistence also strengthens mental and emotional energy. Every time you continue when it would be easier to stop, your confidence grows. Every time you maintain focus despite distractions, your clarity sharpens. Every time you take deliberate action when fear or doubt arises, your internal vibration rises. Persistence builds an invisible infrastructure of energy that supports you in ways nothing else can. It turns potential energy into kinetic energy that drives life forward. People who master this principle rarely feel powerless because their energy has been conditioned to keep moving, even when circumstances seem impossible or overwhelming. Energy does not die when persistence is present. It multiplies, adapts, and expands. Persistence also refines the quality of your decisions. When you commit to long-term energy alignment, your choices naturally become more intentional. You stop wasting energy on efforts that do not serve your purpose. You stop reacting to temporary emotions and begin acting from a place of consistency and clarity. Each decision reinforces your frequency, building strength and stability within you. Over time, persistence becomes an automatic structure in your life, a rhythm that channels energy into creation, influence, and growth. The longer this rhythm is maintained, the more unstoppable your energy becomes, and the more life begins to reflect the power of your internal state. Ultimately, the energy of persistence is self-reinforcing. The act of showing up strengthens the signal, which strengthens motivation, which strengthens action, which strengthens results, which further strengthens energy. It becomes a cycle that cannot easily be broken once established. Most people underestimate the hidden power behind this cycle because they focus only on immediate results, failing to see the unseen energy being built internally. But when persistence is mastered, energy becomes a force that cannot be ignored. Life begins to respond not because external conditions have changed, but because internal energy has become unshakable. Persistence converts ordinary effort into extraordinary power, and through it, mastery of energy becomes inevitable. Energy grows exponentially when you take full responsibility for it. Most people live as if their energy is controlled by circumstances, other people, or the randomness of life. They react, complain, and hope for better conditions instead of realizing that the true source of power lies within. External events can challenge you, distract you, or test you, but they cannot diminish your energy unless you allow them to. The moment you take responsibility for your inner frequency, everything shifts. You stop blaming circumstances. You stop giving power to negativity. You stop letting life dictate your vibration. Responsibility transforms energy from a reactive force into a creative one, giving you control over how your thoughts, emotions, and actions shape your reality. Taking responsibility requires awareness and honesty. You must acknowledge where your energy has been leaking through fear, indecision, distraction, or dependency on others for validation. You must recognize the ways in which you have surrendered your frequency to external forces instead of cultivating it internally. Once this awareness is present, you gain the power to reclaim it. Responsibility is not about guilt or judgment. It is about ownership. It is the conscious decision to no longer allow circumstances, people, or past experiences to dictate your state. Instead, you become the authority over your energy, setting the standard for how you respond, act, and project your frequency into the world. The act of taking responsibility amplifies energy immediately. When you stop reacting to external noise, you conserve it. When you stop blaming others, you reclaim it. When you stop waiting for permission, you release it. Energy that was once scattered or wasted now flows toward intentional creation. Your thoughts become sharper. Your emotions become steadier. Your focus becomes stronger. By claiming responsibility, you build an internal ecosystem where energy is self-sustaining, reliable, and aligned with your purpose. People who operate at this level are rarely drained because their energy is no longer at the mercy of what happens outside. They generate their own current from within. Responsibility also changes the way you approach challenges. Obstacles are no longer viewed as threats, but as opportunities to exercise control over your energy. Difficult situations become tests of internal mastery, and your response determines whether energy rises or falls. You stop giving power to fear, frustration, or doubt because you know your energy belongs to you. Every decision, every reaction, and every choice becomes an act of energy management. Life begins to respond to the signal you send rather than the noise around you. The more consistently you take responsibility, the stronger your frequency becomes, creating a feedback loop where energy generates results, results reinforce confidence, and confidence further strengthens energy. Ultimately, the energy of responsibility is liberating. It removes excuses, eliminates victimhood, and converts every moment into an opportunity for conscious creation. When you own your energy completely, nothing external can shake your state. You operate from power, clarity, and purpose because the current driving your life comes from within, not from what is outside. Responsibility turns energy into a weapon of transformation, allowing you to shape reality according to your intentions. The person who truly claims their energy never relies on luck, chance, or circumstance. They create outcomes because their energy, focus, and frequency are entirely their own. Mastery begins where responsibility begins, and every step toward owning your energy multiplies the power you already carry within. Energy reaches its highest potential when aligned with intention. Most people live life reactively, moving from one task to another, driven by circumstance rather than choice. They act without clarity, respond without purpose, and expend their energy on things that produce little or no long-term effect. Intention changes everything. When your energy is guided by a clearly defined purpose, your actions become deliberate, your focus sharpens, and your inner vibration rises. Intention is the blueprint for energy. It tells it where to go, what to build, and how to sustain itself over time. Without intention, energy dissipates in random patterns. With intention, energy becomes a precise force capable of manifesting extraordinary results. Every intention you hold shapes the way energy flows within and around you. Vague intentions produce scattered energy. Weak or contradictory intentions create confusion and delay. But strong, specific intentions concentrate energy, providing direction and momentum. When your mind, emotions, and actions are fully aligned with intention, the effect is exponential. Thoughts are clear, emotions are steady, and habits naturally support the outcome you desire. Energy becomes a focused stream, moving powerfully toward the goal rather than being wasted on irrelevant distractions. The more clearly you define what you intend, the stronger your energy signal becomes, and the more effectively it attracts opportunities, resources, and alignment to bring that intention into reality. Intention also interacts with belief and emotion to amplify energy. A person may have intention without belief, but the energy will lack power. A person may feel strongly about something without intention, but energy will scatter. When intention, belief, and emotion converge, energy reaches a level of coherence that creates unstoppable momentum. You begin to notice synchronicities, opportunities, and support appearing in ways that seem almost effortless. This is not luck. It is energy operating at its highest frequency, responding to clear signals. The universe, or the invisible system of cause and effect, aligns with energy that is deliberate and coherent, bringing into existence what is consistent with that internal current. Maintaining energy through intention requires focus and vigilance. Distractions, doubts, and competing priorities constantly threaten to dilute it. Energy is fragile when left unattended, and even minor lapses in attention or alignment can weaken its effectiveness. This is why deliberate repetition of intentional focus is essential. Each day, hour, or moment spent consciously directing your energy toward your intended outcome reinforces the frequency. Each decision aligned with intention strengthens the signal. Each action consistent with purpose builds momentum. Over time, intention transforms scattered, weak energy into a powerful, directed force that no external circumstance can easily shake. Ultimately, intention is the architect of energy. It allows you to transform potential into creation, dreams into reality, and ideas into results. When energy is fully aligned with purpose, belief, emotion, and action, it becomes unstoppable. You no longer drift through life reacting to circumstances. You create circumstances that match your internal signal. Life begins to move in response to the energy you consistently project. Mastery of energy is mastery of intention. The person who fully commands their intention commands their energy, and the person who commands their energy becomes a creator of extraordinary outcomes, not a victim of external forces. Energy without intention is wasted potential. Energy with intention becomes power in motion. Focus is the refining force that transforms raw energy into precision power. Most people expend tremendous energy without ever directing it, scattering effort across distractions, half-formed plans, and reactive impulses. This is why potential often goes unrealized. The energy is present, but it lacks direction. Focus acts like a lens, concentrating energy on the exact target that matters most. When energy is focused, every thought, emotion, and action aligns toward a singular outcome. Scattered energy produces noise. Focused energy produces results. The difference between those who achieve extraordinary outcomes and those who merely drift through life is not talent, luck, or circumstance. It is the ability to concentrate energy without compromise. Focus begins with clarity of priority. The mind can only channel energy effectively when it knows exactly what matters most. Every time attention is divided, energy weakens. Every time distractions are allowed to intrude, vibration scatters. But when you define the most important goal and dedicate your energy to it exclusively, the effect is exponential. Focused energy multiplies internally, increasing confidence, sharpening decision-making, and stabilizing emotional frequency. Small, consistent efforts aimed at a single target create momentum that grows far faster than sporadic bursts of action aimed at multiple directions. Focus is the discipline of energy itself. It ensures that power is not wasted but directed precisely where it can create the greatest impact. The discipline of focus also strengthens resistance against external noise. Life constantly competes for your attention through social pressures, unsolicited opinions, obligations that do not serve your purpose, and endless distractions. Without focus, energy is easily hijacked by these influences, leaving you reactive rather than creative. But when energy is concentrated through disciplined focus, you become impervious to interference. You act with clarity, maintain emotional stability, and make decisions that reflect your highest priorities. Focus allows energy to retain coherence over time, transforming ordinary actions into a sequence of high-impact results. It turns potential into kinetic creation and ensures that every ounce of power contributes to the outcome you desire. Focus is also the foundation for mastery of thought and emotion. When your energy is concentrated, your mind no longer drifts into doubt, fear, or distraction. Emotional energy becomes stable, and mental energy becomes sharp. You gain the ability to observe impulses without reacting, to make deliberate choices in moments that would have previously caused chaos, and to sustain momentum even when circumstances challenge you. Focus aligns all aspects of energy, belief, intention, purpose, and action into a coherent stream. This alignment produces results far beyond what is possible through effort alone. It transforms energy from random bursts into an unstoppable current. Ultimately, focus converts energy into influence. It allows you to create, direct, and amplify the internal force that shapes reality. The person who masters focus does not merely act. They command. They no longer allow scattered thoughts, fleeting emotions, or external chaos to dilute their vibration. Instead, their energy moves with precision, creating results that reflect the strength, clarity, and intensity of their internal state. Focus is the amplifier, the stabilizer, and the director of energy. Without it, even the most powerful energy remains uncontrolled. With it, energy becomes a tool of creation capable of shaping life according to intention, purpose, and mastery. Mastery of energy culminates in the ability to create life on your own terms. When every element, thoughts, emotions, habits, focus, intention, discipline, and purpose is aligned, energy becomes a force that cannot be ignored, controlled, or depleted by external circumstances. At this level, energy is no longer a passive resource to be managed. It becomes an active tool of creation. You begin to shape reality because your internal frequency is coherent, powerful, and unshakable. Every decision, every action, every interaction becomes an extension of the energy you consciously maintain. Life responds not to chance, luck, or external events, but to the clarity, intensity, and direction of the energy you project. At mastery, energy is entirely self-sustaining. You no longer rely on motivation, external validation, or temporary inspiration because your inner current generates continuous power. Challenges no longer diminish your vibration. They test and refine it. Obstacles are no longer threats. They are catalysts that enhance focus, strengthen emotional energy, and refine intention. The higher the level of internal energy, the less influence external chaos has over your state. When you consistently operate from this state, you become a magnet for opportunities, alignment, and results that match the frequency you hold. Energy in this sense is not just a personal resource. It is the architect of your entire reality. This level of mastery also transforms perception. You begin to see the energetic structure of the world around you, the invisible currents, the patterns of cause and effect, and the ways in which frequency shapes outcomes. You understand that every thought carries vibration, every emotion emits a signal, and every action produces momentum. You no longer participate passively in life. You consciously direct energy, making choices that maximize its impact. This awareness allows you to avoid waste, protect internal power, and amplify results. It is the difference between living reactively and creating proactively, the difference between drifting through circumstance and designing destiny. Mastery of energy also means responsibility. You realize that the power you hold is not to be squandered on trivialities, negativity, or distraction. Every decision to maintain coherence, every moment spent in deliberate action, and every boundary set to protect your state reinforces the internal force you carry. The person who has mastered energy does not give it away carelessly. They understand that energy is the foundation of influence, achievement, and transformation. The external world mirrors the internal state. When energy is focused, aligned, and intentional, life conforms to that standard. Mastery is therefore both power and accountability, a combination that few achieve but which produces extraordinary results. Ultimately, the mastery of energy is freedom. It is liberation from external control, from random circumstance, and from internal chaos. It is the ability to live fully in alignment with purpose, to act with precision, and to manifest reality intentionally. When you reach this stage, energy becomes a lifelong companion, a tool, and a force that supports creation in every area of existence. You move through life not as a victim of circumstance, but as a deliberate architect of experience, capable of producing outcomes that reflect the highest version of yourself. Energy, when mastered, is not just something you manage. It is the very foundation upon which you construct your destiny.